And hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents here on Amazon Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could be with us once again. If you guys are new to us on the Amazon side, welcome. Make sure you guys do hit that follow button. You see it here in this corner or down below. And we're excited to welcome our next guest to the broadcast. We have Travis Richey that's joining us today. We're going to talk not only about his journey as an actor and author, but also what it's been like for him to bring different characters to life, and now to share his own characters with the world through his book, The Vampire's Curse. If you guys have not gotten the book for yourselves, we will let you guys know how to be able to do that. We also welcome those tuning in on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, as well as on IG. If you guys have any questions or comments for Travis, make sure you guys do put those in the comment section. I see you guys already coming in there. Hello to you, Michelle. Good to be able to see you over there on IG. Travis, thank you so much for the time. Really
well,
appreciate
thanks for having me, Cyrus. This is really fun.
Well, look, the pleasure's definitely all mine. I was telling Travis he came at just the right time over here in Los Angeles. May is recognized as Get Caught Reading Month. Perfect for him because he wants people to read this book. We're going to talk more about The Vampire's Curse a little bit later. But also, Travis, you've had an interesting journey. I want to shout out Spotlight PR for connecting us together. What has it been like for you, as I mentioned in my intro, Travis, to bring characters to life and to see the way people respond to them?
As an actor, it's exactly the reason I became an actor in the first place. Ever since I was a kid, I knew that's what I wanted to do. So moving out to LA from a small town in Wisconsin is it's a challenge, right? You know, just getting out here is one step, and then getting actually on TV is a whole other thing. So I've been doing improv and sketch comedy for a long time. So you talk about characters, I have them up the wazoo. Right. I've been creating characters of my own for years and years, and then it's another special thing to be able to play a character that someone else creates, like Inspector Spacetime or on Sugar recently. I did a guest star on that, and it's just to interpret that and then somehow have someone respond to it. And nowadays, you don't often get to see who that person is, right? The casting directors, the producers, all those people. You're submitting your tape and just putting it out into the void, and then to have them call you and say, "Yes, do that with us." It's a lot of fun.
So that's interesting. So you've always kind of known that creating in some form was something you wanted to do?
Yeah. So I was born with Bell's palsy, which is why I'm sitting on this side of you. We talked about that. It's a paralysis of one side of my face. And when I was a kid, that was a real source of shame and kind of sadness, right? Because other kids were making fun of me a lot. And so I turned to performing as, in a way, a defense mechanism, right? And I turned to comedy early on so that I could get the other kids to be laughing with me instead of at me. I know it's very sad, but it ended up being such a great kind of refuge for me. And then also for me to be able to give the gift of that escape to other people really means a whole lot to me.
Love that. Hello to you, man. It's welcome to be able to see you over there on the Facebook side. Also, Colette, hello to you. Good to be able to see you as well. Appreciate you guys joining us live as well. If you guys have any questions or comments for Travis, make sure you guys do put those in the comment section there. So, Travis, it's interesting because when I was prepping for this segment with you, and shout out to Tammy there at Spotlight because she helped me be able to give me a great kind of synopsis of your work.
Awesome.
What I thought was so interesting was the range. I mean, you've been able to bring to life a lot of different types of characters. Talk to us about that experience for those out there who may be aspiring actors or want to work in the creative community in some form. What has it been like for you to slip into the skin of so many different types of characters?
It's interesting because I haven't been typecast. You know, a lot of actors, when you are developing your career, they tell you to focus on one type, right? And focus on your type. And when I look at my career, I've done comedy is my forte, right? I talked about growing up with that. So I've been able to do Community and a couple other shows that people didn't watch. But I've also, I did a recurring on Pretty Little Liars that was a very creepy character. And to be able to do something like that, I mean, it's always fun to play a villain, right? And although he wasn't, like the idea about that character was that he looked like a villain, he acted like a villain, but he wasn't actually. And so I don't know, for me, I love bringing anything to life, and to be honest, anything that's not my normal self, right?
Wow.
And so there are instances where I like the role on Sugar, the guy is very much me, very like happy and just excited to meet someone new. And that was actually one of the hardest roles I've played. Wow. Because it was so similar to myself, and I'm not used to that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, do you find that because I get the chance to talk to a lot of people, Travis, and one of the things that I love is that sometimes the thing that scares them the most is what they feel like they have to run toward. Do you find that for yourself, since you haven't been typecasted, that every role kind of presents its own challenge for you?
Yeah, so that's the nice thing. When I get auditions, or even if I'm taking a class with a casting director, I am a member of a place called the Collaborative in Los Angeles, which is an actor-owned company where we have classes, and so I get to meet a lot of casting directors, producers, those kind of things. Every time I get to audition or read a script or perform, even if it's not a paid performance, I view that as my chance to perform. Like, being an actor means I have to act, like I have to perform. And so every chance that I get to do that is wonderful. And so as far as crafting your career, it's important to, I've been lucky enough, I guess, to know what my passion is at a very young age and have that laser focus. And it has kind of, I don't know, branched out a little bit over time, where I have done more writing, which I've always been a writer. It's just this is my first published novel. But creating is the real key, right? So being a creator is the key to everything that I do.
Love that. And we're going to talk more about that. Hello to you, Vernon. Good to be able to see you. Ricardo, hello to you as well. Speaking of writing, he just mentioned it. So we're going to go ahead and share with you guys here on Amazon. This is Travis's first novel, The Vampire's Curse. Mansell's going to love this because he has a vampire series that he wrote as well.
Oh, nice.
He's joining us there out of Georgia. So talk to us about this experience, because as you said in the beginning of this conversation, it's really interesting that you've become used to bringing other people's characters to life. What was it like for you to create your own characters and give them life?
Yeah, so this book in particular was a real labor of love. I came up with the idea for it back in 2009, and it's been kind of festering in my brain for a long time. And it was originally going to be a movie, and I was imaging myself as the main character, right? So I do that a lot. I write, especially years ago, I was exclusively writing for myself, right? Things that I would cast myself in. And I'm a giant nerd, for those of you who are with us here. I love spaceships and dragons and vampires and all that stuff. So when I was crafting this story, it was a particular change to the vampire mythology that really stuck itself in my brain. And that was that for my vampires in my world, when they want to turn human, it's the way that does in like Anne Rice or True Blood. You drain a human's blood, you give them some vampire blood, poof, they're a vampire. Except in my world, it only works about 1 in 10 times. And so the other 90% of the time, the human just dies, right? And so then the drama comes in. What if a vampire falls in love with a human? Then what do? Do they attempt to turn them and probably kill them? Do they be with them and watch them grow old and die, which is another form of tragedy? Or do they push them away? And that's a very lonely place to be. So even though the book is sexy, it's not a capital R romance novel. It's more of a thriller. But I think that drama is at the core of that emotional core, right?
Interesting. Makes you think about the title differently there, about the curse.
That's the curse. Yeah.
Hello to you, Tina. Good to be able to see you there joining us from Texas. Appreciate you. Hey. For those who are just tuning in, welcome. You all are watching Cyrus Webb Presents here on Amazon Live, but we are live streaming on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and X, as well as IG. We have Travis Richey that's joining us today. He's an actor. He's a writer. Also, he's an author. So you guys can be able to get his book here. I'm going to let you guys know how to stay connected with him as well. Have you gotten used to the idea? I noticed on your IG. So have you gotten used to the idea, Travis, at this stage in your career that you have fans?
It's funny. I've had fans for a long time. I was really early into YouTube. And so I was producing web content. My first web series was Robot, Ninja, and Gay Guy. Just a roommate sitcom about 3 guys, a robot, a ninja, and a gay guy living together. And I don't know if you know who Hank and John Green are.
Yeah.
They are the reason I got into YouTube in the first place. But then I was early enough into their fan base that they knew who I was. Gotcha. And so Hank's wife, Catherine, Robot, Ninja, and Gay Guy was her favorite web series for a while. Wow. And so they helped get me rolling and get fans. And so I'd go to places and get them. And then, of course, when I got Inspector Spacetime on Community, that was a whole nother thing, because Doctor Who fans and Community fans have a big overlap, and the creativity and enthusiasm around that character just launched everything into a whole nother level. So I was doing web series. I was doing, we wrote a movie that we didn't end up getting funded, but now that movie is my next novel.
Nice.
It should be coming out later this year.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I mean, I'm not famous, but every once in a while, somebody will tell me that they really appreciate the work I do, which is a huge ego boost.
Yeah.
So.
Well, let's pull on that a little bit more, Travis, because I think it's very obvious, again, when I was prepping for this segment, that you do what you do because you love it.
Yeah.
How much do you contribute your longevity to that? That it's not for, that of course the other stuff is nice, but that the fact that you still love it, that's what matters.
Yeah. And you have to love the journey of it, right? Because I have been very lucky as a small town kid from Wisconsin to do the things I've done. If I told 14-year-old me what I've done, he'd be thrilled, right? But you have to love the journey, because the successes can be rare, right? So, the guest star on Sugar, it's a great show. It's out now and everybody's talking about it, which is fantastic. But I shot that a year and a half ago. And a month ago, I shot an episode of CSI, and I shot an episode of The Talk and stuff like that. That's great. It's not enough to live on. And so you have to still have side jobs. And if you don't love the journey of pursuing this craft and practicing your craft and being creative at all costs, then you'll be very frustrated. And so luckily I find joy in so much of my life, including, just going outside and smelling flowers with my dog.
Yeah.
If you can't find that joy, this is not the career for you.
So I'm going to ask you this question because when just hearing you say that, I mean, that appreciation is so important. I totally agree. It's not always easy for people when they go on social media, they see the end result, right? Yeah. They see the red carpets, they see all the glamour. What helps you to keep it in perspective?
Well, you have to, I mean, that's just media literacy, right? You have to always keep in mind that everything you see is people's best lives. You don't see them waking up and with schmutz in their eyes and like having to put their makeup on or whatever. I'm not a makeup guy, but you know what I mean. And so you always have to keep in mind that what people are showing you is what they want to show you. And so, but everybody has hard days. Everybody has hard times. And you just have to bear in mind that the internet it's not an honest place, right? It's oftentimes angry, and it's oftentimes sugar-coated. So, yeah.
Good point. And it's a great reminder for all of us. So I'm sure you get this question. So I have to ask you, what advice do you normally give to those looking to get into the industry at this point, considering what you've seen? And you've seen a lot of the changes that have come with it. So what advice do you normally give them?
It's really tough, especially now. Everything is changing so fast. The first thing I do tell people is that, look, if you can imagine yourself doing any other thing with your life, do that, because you'll be happier, right? There's so much rejection and so much negativity in the entertainment industry that it's a really tough thing to get into. I have been lucky enough to find communities over the years that have been supportive and helped me grow. And Ricardo, you have to love the journey. And so if you can't have that focus, if it's not your passion, then find something else, right? But yeah, I don't know if there's advice other than that, because here's the other challenge is that, you know how if you want to be a doctor, there's a path, right? Every doctor pretty much takes the same path. You go to school, you go to medical school, you get your residency and your internship or whatever. There are as many paths to being a successful entertainer as there are successful entertainers, right? Everybody takes a different path. So there's no one way to do it. To give someone advice and think that it's the advice is a little bit unrealistic. It's a little bit, self-important. And I don't tend to put that pressure on myself.
No, I get that. And I love what you said too, because it's kind of like, I guess, what any other thing in the creative community, everyone's journey is going to be different, and what people expect from it's going to be different.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
Based on their circumstances.
Yeah.
Right.
And success means something different to everybody.
Yes.
Everybody. So.
Yeah. And that's become more and more. I've been talking more and more about that on the show, because I think we've had to deconstruct what success is.
Yeah.
Because what success is for some people is not success for me. There are some things I've never wanted, that I don't feel like makes you successful, that some people think that's the thing for them. So that's a great tee up then for you, Travis. How do you define success today?
Doing a thing. So there's what is that prayer? The serenity prayer. You have to like something about like being okay with the things you can control and letting go of the things you can't.
Right.
So the things I can control are writing a book, right? Getting it published. I mean, I could have done that myself, probably. I was very fortunate to have met people over the years that helped me get it in the hands of publishers who actually put the book out for me. And this art I love. You're looking at the art of the book right now, and if you look inside the book, all the pages are also like artistically designed, and just the layout of this novel is fantastic. And I wouldn't have been able to do it this well on my own. So shout out to Four Horsemen Publications for that, because they did an amazing job with this book. So success is doing it, right? Here's the piece of advice I tell everybody, though. This is something I heard a while ago, and I love it. It's don't let perfect be the enemy of good.
I love
Have you heard that?
Yeah.
So a lot of people will wait until they can do a thing perfectly, or the way they envision it in their brain. And if you do that, you'll never make that thing. But in the time that it would have taken for you to make that one thing, you can probably make a dozen good things, and each one will get better and better because you will learn more and more each time. So yeah, just if you have an idea, do it. Don't wait, just do it, because you will gain invaluable knowledge from that experience of doing it.
Love that. Great advice. Again, everyone, Travis Richey has been our guest here in Los Angeles for Cyrus Webb Presents Conversations LA, sharing a bit of his journey, not only as an actor, but also as an author as well. He's also a writer. So make sure you guys do get his book here on Amazon. We have it linked for you guys here. They've made it easy. And Travis, how can they stay connected with you?
So please find me on YouTube's a great way to see a lot of my content. So it's just Travis Richey on YouTube. And if you want to interact more regularly, I think Instagram probably is the best way. I like posting to Instagram, and it cross posts to Facebook, so you can find me there too.
All right. Well, Travis, thank you so much for the time.
Yeah, thanks, Cyrus. I appreciate it.
And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents. Until next time, you all make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Stay tuned.
Bye.